Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another What Are You Playing episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and what are you playing with me tonight for November 2022?
Is everyone's favorite king of useless knowledge and no more hero, Joe Butler.
Welcome back.
And then it's me again, Star, just kind of here, vibing, living.
Chop until you drop, right?
I guess
Game.
I always do that. God, I love it.
I'm John Aldrige, new to the show, so I'm
Welcome.
happy to be here.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Welcome.
Well, time to start hazing.
So,
I get enough of that as it is. I'm good. Please no.
and for what we do, so as we do this every month, we always talk about what we've been up to. The first game that I have to start with that controlled my life for a couple of weeks that I put down and I don't want to pick back up, that I play. I think I talked about it last time. I can't remember. Vampire Survivors. Oh my God, I got addicted to that game. Like, I haven't been that into a game in a while, but I got to the point where all the achievements left I can't do anymore. Like, I mean, I can, but they're difficult. And it took away the dopamine hit for me of constantly getting something new, whereas, like, yeah, you're not getting anything new because you have to survive for 31 minutes and kill the Grim Reaper. So if you don't get the right setup, none of it matters. Gold? Who needs gold? I already bought everything. And then the game just I lost interest.
Yeah, I've played that game quite a bit. I think that was a problem I had with it was I would sometimes just boot it up and be like, oh, I'll play for a little bit. And then, like, that's, of course, always the run where it's 30 minutes. And I'm like, I didn't want to do this for this long. And then
you get to a point where every run is 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Unless you
just,
fuck
I don't
up.
know, something about it being timed like that. It just feels so daunting that I'm like, oh, I could be in this for a while. Rather than, like, 5 rounds of Hades where there's no timer. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. Whatever.
And I really liked it because I was playing it on the Steam Deck, which is the perfect way to play Vampire Survivors. I'm part of a Steam Deck group, and that's all I swear they were talking about for like a good month, was just Vampire Survivors.
Sounds awesome.
It's pretty funny. I mean, I'm just done. I just lost interest, and I just can't. I mean, the game is awesome. The game is amazing, but it lost that dopamine hit because I'm not earning anything anymore if I can't make it 30 minutes into a run. 31 minutes. Like, the achievements I need I can't get. I just lost. I just had to put the game down for now.
So, you're telling me you've gotten like pretty far in that game and you haven't met the vampire of Vampire Survivor?
I can't remember. I got all the coffins.
Oh, I don't know. That's a thing that they bring up because they have a TikTok where they show off like updates for the game. And it's like update 1.0. We finally hit 1.0. Will there be a vampire? You'll see.
I beat the game. Technically, I mean, I beat the boss. There is a boss in the game, like a Grim Reaper thing. But there's still more. Like, Mike was playing the game a bunch. He beat it and got credits. And I was trying to go for that, but I just couldn't do it anymore. It became too much. And then I was able to play the next game for the show on the Steam Deck, so that kind of took over too. So I did that instead.
That's what I was trying to remember if it is on any other console, purely Switch. I don't think it is.
It's on Game Pass. It just hit Game Pass.
Yeah,
So,
just
yeah,
like Game Pass.
So it's on Game Pass, yeah, but it's funny because, as you said, like, the Steam Deck's one of the best ways to play. It's like, man, that thing would do so well on Switch. Not on Switch.
Yeah, it really. I don't know why it's not on Switch.
And phones, like this thing runs off a fart. Like, I don't understand how it's not on smaller stuff.
It doesn't, because it's a perfect type of game for that. It's a perfect game just to throw on, play around. The problem is that the rounds started taking so long that it took away it's short moment-to-moment gameplay for me, and that's what broke me. It's like, if I'm going to play this, it's going to be a half an hour, 30, 40-minute run because of having to wait for all the load times and me picking stuff.
Time commit.
And it just, I mean, I can turn off the Steam Deck, just, put it to sleep and put it down and come back the next day. I've done that before, but I lost interest. It wasn't the same anymore for me.
Before we move off it, and I mentioned this before, but now I don't know if I remember the name, but I kept forgetting, but I have it now. If you want to play Vampire on mobile, it's called Magic. I just looked at it. Magic Survival. It came out several months before Vampire Survivors, and it's pretty heavily thought that they basically ripped everything from them because it's basically the exact same game. Before now, there's like 40 mobile games that are all the exact clone of Vampire Survivors, but it's really good. It's very different. The art style is more like Limbo in a way, but it's very fun, and it's just nice. It's on the phone, and it's free. So if you like that, you should go check that one out because it's pretty rad.
Okay, I'm looking it up right now, but
yeah, it's definitely different, but I mean, like, a lot of the same abilities are there, but also different ones. So it's very interesting that this one came out quite a bit earlier than Vampire Survivor for my understanding. So, but yeah, there's at least a good mobile one that's free that you can play rather than all the shitty clones that now exist.
I mean, Vampire Survivor is. I mean, I think there's a free website version of it. I know that for Vampire Survivors.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's actually
because that's
nice.
what Ken was playing at one point when I talked about it on the show. He went or I talked about when we recorded. At some point I talked about it and he went and found it and was like, "This is addictive, damn you." So it just, I don't know. I lost interest because I just couldn't. I felt like I couldn't do anything. And once you take away that dopamine hit, for me, it's all about completing something and moving on. And there's really when I couldn't complete it anymore, and I didn't feel like I just had enough. I'll go back to it at some point.
Now do what everyone else does. Just go into the options and delete your save profile and then start over from square one.
No, never.
Who people do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's just that's weird. I don't like that.
I might do that with RE8.
I can see that with another game. But Vampire Survivors just feels it's very much like dopamine hit, get to the end, and then it's like I just couldn't imagine doing it again.
I wouldn't want. I mean, I still want to finish it just because I want to see the credits and I want to put it in my beaten games list. But I just don't have the interest to go back. So yeah, I'm just kind of done for now with it. At some point, Star, what is something that you've been playing?
I've actually been bouncing around a lot. I bought Call of Duty. Probably worth just getting that out of the way. It's fine. I mean, I like it. I bought it because I played the beta and I liked beta a lot, and so I knew I was gonna like it. And also, it's finally the game that all my friends finally came back to like group gaming for. So I hopped on that train for a little bit.
That's nice though.
Yeah. I wish it had more often with my friend groups. That's why whenever it does happen, I'm like, oh, I have to get in on it now before they all stop. So that's been probably one of the most enjoyable moments. Third person's rad. I love the third person. I kind of when I blew it up, and if I play by myself, I'm like, I'm just gonna go do third person because I like.
Call of Duty has third person now.
Yeah.
That's weird.
The last one had it. Infinite War or the whatever.
No,
Modern
Infinite
Warfare.
Modern Warfare 1. Yeah, Infinite
Modern
Warfare. That's a good. I played that.
Modern Warfare 1, 2, the most recent Modern Warfare besides this one. It had a third-person mode, but it wasn't very popular. But this one, they made an actual multiplayer playlist for it. And there's only one playlist, and it's just mosh pit, like game mode, so a bunch of different stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun to, like, it just completely changes the dynamic with, like, corner peeking. And, there's some people who do fast, some people do slow. When you aim down sight of a scoped gun, it'll still go to first person of the scope. But yeah, I really like it. I haven't tried Warzone yet. I've never been a big Warzone person, but I was just reading a thing that apparently they added that if you do multiplayer, if you do teams, but you don't have a full team, you can ping enemies and request to either join theirs or have them join yours. And that sounds hilarious and rad. I kind of love that, to be like, hey, let's be cool. Come on, you only got two. I'm here. We could group up. So,
Please don't blow my legs off.
Yeah, please don't. You could be at death's door, like, please. I know you've destroyed me. Please let me live, dog. Take me with you.
Okay.
So yeah, I just like that they're doing different stuff. I don't know, and it keeps me around for a little bit.
Okay, I haven't touched one. The last one I played was Infinite. Well, like that came out, Infinite Warfare. Pretty sure that's the last one I played.
Infinite Warfare is really good though.
Yeah, it was. I just played the story, then I beat the game, then I put the game down, and never played again.
That's
Yeah,
how you do Call of Duty.
The story's also been interesting and something my friends and I have talked about because I think two of them have beaten it and I've played a good chunk of it and I want to finish it and I will. But the missions are a lot shorter. They're very more much just feel like cinematic things, which is nice because I play on veteran, so it makes it go faster. But the commentary or the hot topic is they're basically, it feels like a Michael Bay film where it's like, oh, we're gonna take this seriously and as serious as you can with what their subject matter is. Except for this adult man who wears a skull all the time, no matter what the scenario is.
Is this a remake?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's a reboot, basically. It's a lot of the same characters, but they're in different settings and different stories. So yeah, Ghost. That's why Ghost is around, and Ghost is of course super badass, and everyone loves him. That's why they've been plugging him for a while. Spoiler for a later game cutscene: they are in a bar, all dressed in civilian clothes, and everyone's hanging out, and then Ghost walks up, and he still has the skull mask, and nobody says anything. And it's like, I love you, Ghost, but you can't just get away with this at the bar, dude. You can barely get away with it on the field.
It's the guy who likes to wear kitty ears. It's normal. It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah, we can yesify Ghost. Yesify, whatever. Himbo up Ghost. It's fine. I'm down. Also, I've seen a cutscene, or I've seen a part that I haven't played yet, where they him and the other main protagonist, Soap, exchange lame jokes in the middle of a mission. Like it's a stealth mission. He's like, and they're waiting. He's like, I got one for you. And they just start going back and forth. And I'm like, all right, now you two just have to kiss and I'll be happy because this is so good and you two are great. So
is that the one where like the meme keeps coming from where Ghost is like staring at a character and he's like super hyper realistic?
Do not know. I have not seen that meme, but there's a lot in this game that could be memeified for better. And so yeah, that's Modern Warfare in this day and age. So
I can't believe it was. I did not know it was I thought I saw some of the advertising for it, but I didn't think it was just like a reboot. I thought it was just they just retook the name and did something different. But
no, yeah, I mean it was back in the last one as well. Like that's that's why you introduce all the characters. Like, oh, Captain Price again, but it's Captain Price alternate universe.
Is it no Russian level again?
No, I don't. At least not yet. I don't think. I think they've kind of again.
That wouldn't fly in 2022.
There was so much artistic merit to the original. Yeah, that's sarcasm / s. Anyway, so yeah, there you go.
Okay. And John, what is something that you've been playing?
Final Fantasy 14. I fell into that rabbit hole. Oh my god. My first MMO, by the way. I've never touched an MMO before.
Keep it that way.
Recently just got better internet, so I can do that stuff now. I'm probably close to 40 hours in. It's the only thing I want to play. It's really good.
I'm sorry for the loss of your friends and family.
I hope you enjoy your new friends and family who are on that MMO.
But yeah, I've been enjoying my time with it a lot. I'm going through the A Realm Reborn, the like 10-year-old content, basically just kind of not paying attention to it a whole lot, just doing the missions. Like I'm finally getting to the point where the story is actually starting to happen. It took a very long time, but yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think it's a good game. I have followed 14 for years. I've always wanted to play it, and now that I finally can, I just don't want to stop. And that's a problem for another game I started and I haven't touched again because I just keep going back to 14. But it's cool. I will probably end up subscribing. Well, I will end up buying it and subscribing to it at some point. But I'm just doing the free trial right now up to past Heaven's Word level 6.
Yeah, because didn't they have enough free trial? You can play up to 96 hours or something before the 15th of December. And I think it's all free. Like you can just as far as you can get in a certain amount of time. And they're just like, yeah, come play. So
yes, that's more for the it's for everyone, but it's more to get people who have not touched the game since Endwalker.
Mm-hmm.
So because there's 2 or 3 content patches have dropped, like big story stuff for kind of the epilogue of Endwalker, basically. So I think it's more for people who have let their sub drop and then like, hey, come back. You can play this for free. We'll give it to you. But like I said, I'm enjoying it a lot. I will have no problem subscribing to it whenever I get to that point. It's actually on sale on PSN now, and I just want to buy it, but I know that's going to kill my free trial, so that sucks because I don't want to pay for it right now. But yeah, that's been my main thing for the month. I got a few other stuff, but that's been the big just hook and mouth keeps pulling me back in.
What class are you playing?
I started as Marauder and got it to like level 28, I think, and I was kind of enjoying it. Then I kept seeing all the rogues, and so I was like, I'm going to go try Rogue. I've been mainlining Rogue ever since. I absolutely love Rogue. I've doing the Rogue class, but I've got the Ninja job now. So
ooh, Ninja.
I'm once I hit the end of the level and the story and stuff, I'm probably going to go back and try to get a Red Mage because I do want to try Red Mage.
Yeah, Red Mage is great.
I've heard nothing but good things about the game. My friend is always trying to get me to play it, but I'm just like, when I was unemployed earlier, I was like, okay, I'm going to download it. I'm going to try it out because I got time. And then I got rehired, or I got hired again. And I'm like, okay, never. And then I never bothered.
Yeah. It's like my 2 main pointers are make a character you really like, because I kind of want to change mine. I made a really cool looking dragon guy, but I want to change a few things, and now I can't until I find an item that lets you remake your character. And start in Limbs of Lamentis. Limbs of Lamentis is so cool. I love that town. That is my favorite. I've done Gridania and Limsa. I have not done Ul'dah yet for the starting cities, but Limsa is just so much fun. That town is debauchery filled, and I love it.
I will never do another MMO. I was big into 11. I just can't. I mean, I want to play 14 because it sounds cool. Like I just want to experience the story, but I'm just like, no.
No, well, see, John, you sit there and go, hey, I really like my character, and then you go and you get the item where you can change your appearance, and you go, oh, you can just kind of buy these whenever you want to, and you go, should I make my character the way I want to, or should I turn myself into a Lalafelon for like 3 months for shits and giggles?
I almost started as a Lalafell because I love the Lalafell. Lalafells are like my favorite to see run around in that game. They are just so adorable, and I love watching them fight.
Yeah,
because it's so ridiculous. But I went for the I can't remember the name of the class. I went for the Dragon Man. I'm thinking about maybe switching to a Cat Girl just because.
Mythra. There's still Mythra, aren't they, in 14? There's something else now. I used to play 11 big. I actually would love to go back. I want to go back and play 11 just to finish the story, but I want to play like a hack thing where I could, be max level and just kill everything and not have to worry about it.
Yes. I think there are. They just added 2 classes with Endwalker. The Cat People, and I can't remember the other one.
Okay.
But they're not unlockable right when you start the game. Or maybe it's just a free trial. I'm not sure.
It's so funny and interesting, the state of MMOs right now, and it's such an interesting discussion because, like, outside of basically World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, if you really want to get weird with it, Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy 14, and then there's one other one I can't remember. Those are like kind of the main ones that are really talked about, but outside of that, there's not really a lot of very prominent, long-standing good MMOs. And so,
no, it's hard to make them last.
Yeah, and so it's kind of been an interesting thing. But one that is being rumored that's being made right now is a Horizon MMO made by the people who made Guild Wars 2. And that sounds interesting. Yeah, I think they could do a really good job. And depending on how that combat is, I am pretty much like hype because Guild Wars 2 is probably the only other MMO I've spent a lot of time with. So I'd be very curious to see what they do with that and like a world to expand on.
It goes against what I like doing, so that's why, because I like to beat games and move on. In MMO, that you don't move on, you just play the one game.
Hey, there's an endpoint usually,
I mean, I played 11. It was all I did. I mean, I didn't do nothing but play 11. I mean, sometimes playing 11 meant sitting around in town with your Seek party up while you watch TV and hoping someone invites you. But, that was still me playing 11. So, I know it's an old MMO. Nothing like it's not. I just very, very apprehensive to that genre.
Yeah, the one.
Go back.
I think just anything that could be new and good for that and help just sort of fuel that genre is nice to hear about. Even if I never play it, I'm like, yeah, good for them. They need some more love over there on that side.
No, I do want to play 14 someday. I would love to run through that story and experience it because you can do the whole thing solo from what I heard.
Yes. So far I've been bound. Like when I can't find people to join the party with, then I just screw it. I'm going with the NPCs, and it's fine. It's perfectly fine.
And I do like that. I don't know. I was gonna install it, but it just took too long because I wasn't using a wired connection, and it just took forever, and it timed out, and I just moved on.
Yeah, it's such a thick story. The way you talked about it, John, of the early game of kind of not really paying attention and having someone talk to you about it because the story gets better later. It's such a that's how you do it. But man, if you don't want to do that, it's so hard. That's another reason why I think I fell off. I was like, I really want to care, but man, there's so many names and people I don't understand.
I gotta beat a game and I gotta move on to the next game. And when you take away that and plus I don't like games that last really long. So that's the issue.
I think the one thing that, because the team that does 14 is also doing 16.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I cannot freaking wait to see what they do with 16. You have an actual game, real combat with their storytelling and their cutscenes, because the cutscenes in this game are the opening for A Realm Reborn or Endwalker. All those cutscenes are breathtaking, and I really can't wait to see what that team can do with a mainline title.
That will be cool. I forget. I used to love Final Fantasy completely. I just don't even. I haven't even played 15, or I never even played all the 13s. 15's
good. I like 15 a lot.
I own it. Just haven't gotten around to it.
I keep thinking about. I have them all on Xbox. I keep thinking about going back through the 13. I only played the first one. I keep thinking about I need to see that garbage.
13.2 was really good until I fucked up my save. And I went into a room with a Moogle, and you were supposed to grab an item, and if you don't grab the item, you're not supposed to be allowed to leave. I was allowed to leave, therefore I couldn't go back and get the item, therefore my save was fucked. And that was over 8 years ago. Still haven't gone back yet.
I got to the end boss of 13 and my PS3 died. I was 2 or 3 hits away from killing him. And I was like, oh, okay, going to YouTube. Just screw this.
That's what I did with one of the games on this show, Blood Omen 2. I got to the final boss and it just froze, and I said, well, I just YouTube this. Like, good enough. Fuck this game. But 13's probably a better game than Blood Omen 2. So, another game that I want to mention that I started playing because somebody recommended that I think it was somebody that was on the show. I started playing Marvel Snap on mobile.
Oh
Yes.
God.
Oh yes, one of us.
And I contemplated, so I didn't play it right away. When I got into it, it had already started the second season where they were doing the Wakanda Forever stuff, or Black Panther stuff. And I had sat there and I'm like, for $10 I could get the season pass. And I'm like, what are you doing, Mike? Stop it. I did not, but I thought about it. I never put money in mobile games anymore because I once put way more money than I'm comfortable with than I with Little Empire.
Oh, what? Which? Oh, I have to know, Mike. What game was that? Was it Little Umpire?
Little Empire.
Oh, Empire. Okay.
You had it was like a little battling game. Oh, I put hundreds of dollars into this game because my friend that I live with, she loved this game. So a lot of times I'd like, here's $20, put some money in the game and get an item or whatever. Like I spent a lot. So I spent a little bit myself too. And God, it's just not a road I want to ever. I hate spending money on mobile games.
I just really want to know what game made you whale up on phone, and I'm glad I'm looking at pictures. This is lovely. Thank you.
It was a fun game. It was actually really fun. It was really just because it was something that me and my roommate did together. So it was something that I really got into, and I played it for way too long. But yeah, it was a good game. I don't know if it still exists.
I don't think so, based on what I'm
seeing. I just
seeing.
Googled it now, and I don't see it in the Play Store.
Yeah, I don't know what monetization system they're running off of, but as a person who played quite a bit of Hearthstone back in the day, I think spending money in that type of atmosphere is it's pretty more common and permissible and less weird because, like, I don't know.
Oh, it still exists. I couldn't find it in the Play Store, but it's called Little Empire by Camel Games, if anyone's curious. I mean, it evolved completely since I used to play it, but...
That's funny. I just clicked the Play Store link on their webpage and it goes to a dead link.
So in other words, it doesn't exist anymore. Okay.
I guess not. Yeah, let me double check the Apple. Yeah, same thing. Anyway,
yeah, it must have died then.
But yeah, with Hearthstone, any money I ever spent on that, I never really regretted because it was just nice to have new cards and like play with whatever weird, wacky stuff they were doing because they would change stuff out. But I've also been tempted to start because I have a friend as a former Hearthstone person and a friend talking to me a lot about it. And even as someone who doesn't care about Marvel, I'm like, man, I'm with Hearthstone, so maybe. And it's downloaded. I haven't had time to boot it up and sink my teeth into it.
Oh, and just to finish, that game's been dead for over a year. I went on their Facebook and they made a post, and people were like, please fix it. It doesn't work anymore. Yeah, it glitched out. It died like over a year ago.
Aww. We can keep talking about Snap, but before we move on, just because it's related,
sure,
I want to play Persona 5 Royal on PC. But it is broken on certain PC setups. So if you're thinking about getting it, just make sure you look it up. Or like get it on Steam where you can refund it. It was a real bummer because I started up, I was ready to play it again for like the third time. And then it just stutters horribly in certain areas and it doesn't matter what settings. Yeah, I was looking at reviews and I was seeing other people talking about it. Doesn't matter what settings it's on. It's just certain PC configurations it fucks up. But anyway, so there's a little warning to anyone listening. Yeah, it's totally amazing. Everyone should play it. As long as your PC doesn't freak out while it's running.
I might shoot myself in the foot and buy the Switch version because it's going to be on sale for $30. And I'm like, I think this game is worth $30.
It probably is. I love Persona 4, but I haven't touched. I beat that once. I need to do it on the show someday, but that's a commitment I'm not willing to make right now.
Hey, it's coming out soon, so at least it'll have a good access to it.
Full offense.
I bought the PS5 version.
That's not bad.
It's Persona 5. Oh God, you need to play Royal. It's so good.
Sounds great.
Someday. I can't. RPGs are hard for me on this show because of what I do. So
yeah.
And I have an issue where anything I play, I want to record about it. So that's a.
John, how much of Royal have you gotten into, if you don't mind me asking?
I have not played Royal yet. I bought it when it came out on PS4, and then I bought it when it came out on PS5. I haven't played either one of them. I kind of bought the PS5 one because I really wanted that Steelbook. I kind of collect Steelbooks.
Yeah.
And I was
Steelbooks are nice.
one day when I'm not going through the entire Legend of Heroes series, I will start this. That hasn't happened yet. You're talking about RPGs. play the Legend of Heroes series, but don't play the Legend of Heroes series. They're so good.
I have
but
a few of them. I want again.
they're-
I say that a lot, but I'm trying to knock off things. Like I have a rule, like to get back on Marvel Snap. Like I'm playing Marvel Snap, but it has to be a thing where it's just like I don't want to do anything else, so I just play it. I don't know how long I'll stick on it, but I force myself not to spend money on it because I hate, like I was saying, I hate spending money on mobile games. It just seems wrong to me.
So we're thinking about Persona that I want to bring up real quick too. If you guys are worried about playing it, just play the Royale version. All the DLCs for free, and you get the main character's final persona from Persona 3 and 4, and you can basically ride the game with them.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah,
you can ride the entire Golden game, Royale. You can ride the entire Royale game with their like DLC, free DLC, and like just beat the whole game with those two, and you'll be fine.
I'm okay with that. Okay, you got me interested. I'll have to, because I do want to do a Persona 5. I want to play it someday. I need to play more big RPGs.
Yeah, that'd be especially accessible for you, Mike, because they're literally over leveled. So like you just pull them out and you can just one shot anything like bosses.
Well, that and
like, get this
with the Steam Deck, I've learned that I can put in a lot of fucking gaming in just little points. I got to go pick up my wife and she's running half an hour late. I'm like, and at one point I'd get mad. I'm like, hey, I'm fine. I'm just gonna park the car and pull out my Steam Deck and I'll play for half an hour for the game for the show. Like, hey, no waste of my time.
Get it for the Steam Deck. I heard Persona 5 Royale's great on the Steam Deck.
Oh, it's on my wish list for Steam. So I have a rule of thumb with Steam where I have a certain amount of money I'm willing to spend every month on games. And if stuff goes on sale for like $5 or $10, and depending on where I'm at, I'll just pick it up anyway. Like, okay, I'll get to this someday. Like, I just bought Tales of Berseria and another Tales game for $5 each because they were on sale. So I just figured, what the hell? Now I have them on Steam too.
I have something I really want to talk about that I played recently.
Sure.
And it's specifically for this month. So I am a dual income, no kids. So I have plenty of money to waste. And the first game that I got for this month was Bayonetta 3.
Oh.
We talked about that in one of our previous What Are You Playing before we knew other stuff about it.
Yeah, cool. And guess what? That game, it has the worst ending I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I've heard so many bad things. And I looked it up a little bit, and I understand, and I agree.
So does anybody care if I spoil the game real quick?
Consider I haven't played 1 or 2, and it don't matter to me. What about you, John? Any interest?
I really want to play it, but I'm not. Same as you, I have not played 1 or 2, so don't worry about it.
Okay, so there will be spoilers for Bayonetta 3. If you don't like it, click ahead.
Yeah, just wait till you hear me not talking anymore. It'll be fine. So Bayonetta 3 is a multi-universal game where Bayonetta travels to other worlds, and it's a little bit better than the other games if people have played the other ones, because in the old games you had to find verses to get weapons. Whenever you beat the level, you get that version of Bayonetta's weapons. There's some yo-yos and all the trick weapons are just great. There's a train hammer too. You can ride the train hammer.
Okay.
You can summon your weapons like spiritual form. So besides Madame Butterfly, you can actually summon a train. And there's a clock tower and like a Godzilla. And every level ends with like this just beautiful set piece boss fight. One of them is what she does is she rips her heart out and then squeezes the blood on the ground and gives like the summons like a super form. One of them, I swear to God, is that there's a frog and the frog turns into like a big Victorian like queen. And she does like a remix version of the opera song from Fifth Element. And it's a rhythm game. And it's just fucking fantastic.
Okay.
What?
That sounds like platinum.
Yeah, it's platinum.
Yeah.
And this game's a 3-course meal where you're getting it and you're eating it. And it's like, oh, this is so good. This is so great. What's for dessert? Well, here's your dessert. Oh, this looks really good. And then the waiter grabs the fork and just stabs you in the eye. And it goes, okay, have a good day. Well, I got to pay for this? Yeah, goodbye. Because the game happens at the story. And, there's a new character that's referred as Violet. And even watching the trailers, you can tell she's totally Bayonetta's daughter. Like, off the bat, like, even, like, towards the end, it's revealed as a surprise. But you're like, I've known this. She has stopped herself from calling her mom like twice. And then it's like, well, who's the dad? Oh, it's Luca. Oh, that's weird. And Luca ends up being like a super werewolf. That ends up coming out of nowheres. And then the game ends where Bayonetta's fighting the final boss and she gets soul swiped out of her own body. And Luca and her are like, oh no, I'm dying. And he's like, it's okay. I'll go to hell with you. And she's like, I've always loved you, Luca. And I'm looking over at the other 2 games and I'm like, Didn't these games say that Bayonetta and John sleep in the same bed and they like go to school together and all this other stuff? Well, I guess I'm just a fucking liar then. And
Nothing you're saying makes any sense to me.
it's fine. It makes sense when you play the game just because this is technically aren't. I guess I'll go into even more spoilers, which goes to the controversy of what happened. Whenever you're fighting the final boss you're losing, the Bayonetta 1 shows up and the Bayonetta from Bayonetta 2 shows up. So the first two games aren't prequels to this. They're all set in different timelines.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's where, what the hell is her name?
Elena Taylor, I think.
Yeah, fucked up. And I understand, like, part of me is I don't think what you did was right. Everything was still wrong. But I also get the whole, wait, you're telling me after waiting like 7 years for this game, you're killing off my character? Yeah. So, just go ahead and voice this character for the last time and fuck off. But it ends up just, people were saying it's worse than the Mass Effect ending. And I've never played Mass Effect 3, but
It's fine.
I could probably agree. It's pretty bad. And then they end up teasing Violetta as the new main character. And the final screen is like, oh, see you in the next trilogy. And it's like, oh. So that's why they did this. Okay. It's like a reverse ending to Devil May Cry 5.
That's what I was about to say. It sounds like they did DMC 5, but bad.
Yeah, they did DMC 5, but fucking bad.
Never played that either. One day.
That's great.
Also, I will just be the third voice. The Mass Effect ending was that bad. There we go. Now you have both sides. I won't. We can't. But I hate it. We all said our piece. And I think
it's fine. I don't want to. I need to. I need to replay Mass Effect. Like I did one for the show, and it's one of my worst episodes. I had terrible audio issues.
Oh.
And I haven't gone back to 2 or 3 yet, but I really want to replay them because I have a Legendary Edition that I got for free in some free thing on my EA account through Amazon, I think, but I want to replay them really bad. Again, that's a commitment.
Thanks for reminding me. I need to go re-download it because I beat 1 and then I started 2, but I stopped. But I'm gonna go back and finish that because I love it.
It was really great from what I remember.
There, before the show, we also talked for a minute, and I have to know because I'm hoping it'll be a quicker anecdote. Joseph, you said something about God of War. Has anyone here played it?
It won't be quick, but we can go to God of War next. I know John's played it, right?
Oh,
I've played the first 3 out.
Okay, that's something.
Yeah.
Then 14 happened.
14. But I really wanted to know what Joseph was wanting to talk about with it because I only know one thing about it.
So I'm 20 hours in.
Oh, okay.
And this game has just blown me the fuck. It's like opposite of. It's like the same I was having with Bayonetta, but I know the endings would be better because I've seen people not spoil the ending and be like, "Oh yeah, if you don't want to spoil it for the ending, just be prepared to just cry your eyes out." And I'm not emotionally ready. So no one spoil it for me. But
I think I saw a spoiler to the ending on Facebook the other day, and I was pissed.
I don't blame you.
I know. I think I know what happens. I have not confirmed it for myself. I'm like, I will confirm it when I get there, but I wish I didn't know.
It's always the worst. You just try to scroll past and be like, just forget. Don't remember what you saw.
Mm-hmm. I don't get why people gotta spoil shit that quickly.
Yeah. So I'm a lot further than you, obviously. John, where'd you leave off?
I just got to Svartalheim. I'm to the city.
Okay, that's great then. So God of War 2018, which is the prequel to this, has the game starts off, you're introduced to Kratos and all that, and you fight Baldur, who is your first introduction fight. It's a great fight. They decided to one-up that fight and have you fight Thor in this game, and it is the best starter fight I've ever had in a video game. It's so great. They're just whooping each other's asses. It's fantastic.
It's glorious.
These are sequels to the other God of Wars, correct?
You don't really have. If anyone's ever worried about that, you technically God of War 2018 is the game before this. I recommend playing that. But if you ever really want to get in the series, just watch someone do like a timeline video and then play God of War 2018.
Okay, I played a very few. I'm actually doing God of War 1 on this show later this year at some point. Or next year? Not this year, next year. I'm going to do the first one just because I want to. So.
Yeah, they reference the other games.
I would say maybe go play 3 since it's on PS4.
Well,
yeah,
they're all easily for me to play. So.
Then that'll, I think, from what I know of God of War, that will get you ready for stuff that happens in 18, and then I'm assuming probably this one.
So the joke that I wanted to make, this is not what happens, so no one freak out and think I'm spoiling the game. This isn't what happens. But I'm playing this game and I know what I want the after credits scene to be, like complete Marvel bullshit. I want I want Mimir because my God, Star, do you know a lot about the game?
I know quite a bit about the story and stuff. Yeah.
You have the dismembered head of Mimir, which is a god that has like all the knowledge in the world, right, Mike?
Okay.
You cut his head off and you carry it around. He basically helps with backstories that Atreyu can't fill in because he's a kid. I want the after credit scene of God of War Ragnarok to be after the credits roll. Mimir walks in with a robot body and he's like, Atreus, are you ready for the final fight? And Atreus gets up as an old man and he's got Kratos' tattoos, but they're blue. And he's got every single weapon. He's got the axe. He's got the blades of chaos. He's got the hammer. And he goes, yes, I'm ready to fight Jesus of Nazareth. And they walk out of the cave and it's modern day.
Again, that would be kind of cool.
Do you know what the original ending to God of War 3 was supposed to be?
Yes. And I don't know.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know what the original. I know about that. I'll talk about that in a second. But people were making fun of the modern day thing because in God of War 1, whenever there's a secret cutscene where it's in the DVD or it's behind the scenes of the game where they show Atlas, which is one of the levels of the game. You have to climb Atlas's back to do like a whole labyrinth. And there's like a Gaia talking, and she's like, they even say that people are still exploring the labyrinth to this day, and it has like a bunch of Black Hawk helicopters surrounding it. But
that's cool.
Mike, Star, if you guys don't know this, David Jaffe, the original writer for God of War, said that if he could have an option for another God of War game, which is whenever he made 3, he wants Kratos to team up with the God of War from Ragnarok.
Norse and Egyptian. I believe
Norse and Egyptian. And he wants them to become the 3 wise men and then go greet Jesus.
They were supposed to like work their way through the other pantheons, killing all the gods, and then they would be the 3 wise men to go greet the baby Jesus.
And
It's not going to happen.
I was reading it before you said it because I didn't know it. Holy shit, this is wild.
That's never going to happen, unfortunately.
No, because Tyr is in God of War Ragnarok. He's in the trailer, so now I'm actually worried because they said they're still making more games after this. They're not going to be trilogies, though. It's going to be pairs of games. So we might actually get the ending where they greet Jesus.
I can't. Well, I mean, I would want to fight Jesus and go down that road, but that's not going to happen.
Oh, I can't.
I don't know. It's one of those series. I played Ascension, and that's it. And I'm like, I just kind of want to go back to them, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, no, it looks really good. I mean, I need to play it. I have the 2018 one. I just never got around to it yet.
I really want to play the 2018 one and this one, but I'm not super worried about spoilers. But I will say the only thing I care about nothing matters to me. This game could make me cry, but the only thing that matters, and I will give a non-God of War, like it's a spoiler, it's a bonus thing. Mimir is talking to Kratos on a sled. Total spoilers if you care about bonus weird side content. And he goes, "You once fought in a great tournament, didn't you?" And Kratos goes, "I don't want to talk about it." And he goes, "With the greatest musicians and skeletons and magical tricksters." And it confirms that the Kratos spot in PlayStation Battle Stars is canon, and I love it. And they call Parappa the greatest musician, and that is the most attention Sony has given that character, and it made me want to cry. I was like, "Parappa, my boy, bring him home. It's not fair."
I got that line. That's a great line.
It's amazing, and it made me so happy. I was like, "That's it, best game of the year for me, right there." Just because it mentions indirectly Parappa the Rapper and calls him the greatest. You gotta believe.
Never played that. Never want to.
Oh, it's so good.
I should.
After credits.
Just because I feel like I have a weird thing where I want to play, like, my goal in life is to play a lot of different games that I've never played and, like, just complete as many games as I can and then
just
record them.
Play the sequel, which is not Parappa the Rapper 2. It's Jammer Lammy, which is better in my opinion. And it has Parappa, so you can still do Parappa levels. Just get all the best parts rolled into one weird musical rhythm PS1 ball.
We'll see. Hey, I know who to talk to if I ever decide to do a mini on it or something.
I will be there, and I want to cosplay Lammy. I will do it for the podcast, but also for a convention. So that's my commitment.
Because we don't do video, so yet one day.
No, I'll put a video on just for you, just in this room. Whoever's with us, be like, "Yep, I am in full cosplay." You can't see it, but it's true. What was that, Joseph?
I want to be there. Have you heard of Friday Night Funkin'?
I have, and I'm very curious to check it out at some point.
Yeah, that little web game is great. I can't wait for the full release.
What's the name of it?
Friday Night Funkin'. It's a basically DDR rhythm game, but it's inspired by Frappa the Rappa and Jamalami. It's pretty cool. The whole backstory is the main character wants to date his girlfriend, but her parents are both demons. The first boss is the dad, and he's like an ex-rock star. But you fight other characters throughout Newgrounds, which was a huge thing back whenever we were kids.
I remember that website.
Yeah, and then as of, because they did like a kind of like a game, and then they did a Kickstarter, and the Kickstarter got funded, so they're coming out the full game. The final boss of that is her mom, who is like the world's best pop star and who's still famous, and like the whole fight happens on top of moving cars.
Okay.
I mixed up that game with a different game. For any other Parappa stands out there, another popular one that's come out recently is Scratch and Melody.
Yeah,
it's been on TikTok a little bit. Yeah, that one I want to also really try.
Yeah, that one's good too.
Okay. I have one other game to mention that I've been playing that wasn't for the show. I play Pinball FX3. I played it before and talked about it. It's just one of those. Now that I'm done with Vampire Survivors and I had to put it down, it's my random go-to game. Like, I'm going to bed, but I'm just not tired enough yet. I want to play a few rounds of pinball, and I have bought 84 or 81 of the 100 tables so far. When I do, they go on sale, I buy them. I got a whole set of all the Marvel ones, which probably saved me like $50 on a Humble Bundle sale for like $10. And I just play pinball until I get tired. I'm okay, and then I turn off the game. So I'll play for like 20 minutes or something and just enjoy my pinball and see how I do and see if I get a new high score. It's fucking fun. Pinball FX3 is not. I don't think it's worth the price of entry if you're like someone like me that has to have all the damn tables just because they're there. But if you can get a deal like with it's a lot of fun. It's a fun thing to have. That's all. It's pinball. There's not a whole lot to it other than there's a fucking Family Guy table and I can't stop playing and I'll just sitting there and just sitting there humming with it. So, and the skill shot, because every board has a skill shot, and I learned the Family Guy one. You have to hit the ball lightly and then it hits Peter. He goes, "Oh my god!" And he like falls over and you get like 1,000,000 points. I'm like, this is great. So, that's what it amuses me every time. I know it's coming. He's like, "Oh, why'd you do that?" Like it's a call.
Does he do the thing where he sits and holds his knee for 5 minutes and does the rocking back and forth?
He can. Yeah. There's a couple different ones for depending on where it hit him, but yeah, he'll do that too. It's freaking hilarious. I mean, it's a fun game. I don't know why, but it's just Pinball FX3 is really cool. It's got a lot of different tables. There's a Portal table, a Walking Dead Season 1 table, which I won't play because I bought it because I had to, but it was $1. It was like $2. I'm like, I gotta have all the tables. And it's just really fun. I don't know. It's just a really fun pinball game, and it's perfect for the Steam Deck if you just want something to play when you just need something simple before, when you have time to kill. So that's all that I've been playing. Star, any other games you want to mention?
I can do two pretty quickly. One, Dead by Daylight. Always playing it. It's been messier lately as a random update, infrequent community update. Boop doop boop boop doop. Content creators for the game have basically said camping and tunneling's okay. So now it's really shitty a lot because you're playing against people who are like, "Oh, I'm just gonna hook camp," and you're like, "Thanks, this wasn't fun at all. On to the next one." So it's
shitty.
It's sad.
Hook camp is where they grab you and put you on the hook, right? They just sit in front of it,
and they hang around like they're pretty close within proximity.
Oh, so you can't get people off it then.
Yeah, and there is a counter strategy, which is basically go start doing gens immediately. But if you're doing solo queue and you can't really communicate with if you were doing it with a group, it'd be like, "Oh, hey, he's camping me. Just go gen rush," because it buys you a lot of time. But if you're with people, it's like, "Oh, should we save them? Should we not? What should we do?" And it's a gross mess. So yeah,
okay, that's too bad.
Yeah, it was a hard time right now. But they did add the Weed Ghost Face mask, so that levels it out 100%.
What?
Sorry, not the weed. It's the What's Up Ghost Face mask from 2000 earlies. Yeah.
Scary Movie 2 or Scary Movie 1.
Yeah. So, I mean, that clearly has leveled it out to it makes up. And then the other one, which I'm happy to report, is Halo Infinite. It's all right. It's better than it's been ever, and I'd recommend it. They've updated a lot of stuff and patched a lot of guns that.
Isn't it free?
Yeah.
And the multiplayer was free or something, I think.
Yeah, I think it's just you're right. It's the multiplayer. So yeah, it's getting better. Forge just came out. I haven't messed around with Forge a lot because they don't have like dedicated community browsing, but you could go find people playing good maps and just join in. But just the fact that Forge exists, it's rad as hell, and it's still coming out. Like people are making content for it now. But I don't know. I've just been having fun with the multiplayer. It's been nice just to go back, and that's the game I've been going back to because I'm just like. Every time I play Dead by Daylight, I'm like, oh, I'm sad and tired. And then I go to Halo, and I'm like, I lost, but I had fun. I murdered some dudes. I'm content. I can go.
That's all that matters, that you enjoy yourself. I mean, I remember when we did Favorite Gaming Memory, you talked about Halo too.
Yeah, and so it's always been a rocky relationship since Infinite came out. But
That's what I've
it's
heard
nice
from
to see.
people.
It's nice to see it's getting better. It's just as like a sign that I felt it was a good time to come back. I was looking through like the battle pass that's free right now, and it had my favorite helmet from like the old games, and I was like, this feels right. It was meant to be, so I'm excited to unlock that just so I can equip it on my character and be like, yep, back in the saddle.
I'm glad you're having fun. I heard a lot of bad things about it, but I haven't really I don't have Xbox One or Series X, and I just don't care either. But I'm glad that you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's I'm just happy to report to anyone who's like maybe left and just thinking about coming back. It's like it's enjoyable again. It's not perfect, but it's best it's been. So
I know why I want to play Dead by Daylight.
What's that?
I know why I want to play Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Yeah, that new Survivor's a DILF.
Oh my god! I thought you meant the killer for a second. I was like, "What are you talking about?" With his emo hair popping out of his night suit. No, yeah, he is a DILF. Can confirm. That's what sucks is you get such cool characters and such interesting designs, and then it's like, man, this game's really totally dependent on how everyone's playing and if you like it. Like if the community's a cock. So love-hate relationship.
Okay. John, anything else that you've been playing that you want to mention?
I got a couple. The first is a game that I beat last night because I knew I was doing this, and I was like, I need to at least have something I beat. Somerville. I know it's on Xbox. I don't know if it's on Steam or I don't think it's on PlayStation. I don't know if you guys heard of that or...
I have not.
It is on Steam.
It is on Steam. That's what I thought. It is... Oh, God, how should I talk about this game? It is from...
It's from the people that made Limbo, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Not Night School. That
Jump Ship?
Jump Ship, yes.
How do you spell it?
SOMERVILLE.
That's why I couldn't find it. Okay.
Yeah, Jump Ship. It's been in development for... Is it the one that's been in development for like 10 years?
That sounds about right.
Oh, it really does look like what they normally make.
So
like Limbo and...
Like, I'm not going... this is a game I do not want to spoil, but just like slight spoilers for the opening. So basically when you start the game, you're a family, father, son, and his wife, and you're in the house. The mom and dad are both asleep, and the kid wakes up and starts walking around the house. And outside you see light, like this kind of pinkish purple light that goes by the windows as you're running around the house as this kid. And so you do the stuff. The kid gets knocked down, starts crying. The parents wake up, and then aliens attack. So it is, oh God, what is that last? It is Limbo or Inside mixed with a little bit of Oxenfree and War of the Worlds.
Okay.
So it's a walking simulator, I guess you would call it, but got really good puzzles too. It's got some really good puzzles that I was way overthinking a lot of them because I had one that I was staring at for almost a half hour until I realized I really should have done this in 5 seconds when I figured out what I was supposed to do. I was literally just sitting there like, the fuck am I supposed to do here? And then I figured it out. And I was like, oh, you are an idiot. The puzzles are really fun. The story, it's got no dialogue at all. No, it's completely a silent game. You kind of figure out what's going on. I highly recommend it. I don't know how much it costs.
It's $25 on
25. It's about 4 to 5 hours long. It's a quick game. I don't know if I would say it's worth $25 if you don't have Game Pass.
Well, if it's Steam, just wait. There'll be a better sale.
I ended up really enjoying it. The ending is like really it's bizarre, but it's good. And it's got 5 endings.
Oh God!
To get the true ending, you almost have to look at a guide. I had to look at a guide. I was like, I have no idea how to get the true ending. But yeah, I very much enjoyed it's a quick little game. The puzzles are solid. I was playing it on Series S. I don't know if it's this way on PC. It had some really bad screen tearing on Series S, so I don't know if that's across the board or what. And it's a little janky. Like controlling your character is a little bit weird. Sometimes I died in ways I shouldn't have because of the controls. But it's a really fun, cool little game that it's got some jump scares. I won last night, scared the ever living crap out of me. Yeah, I will highly recommend. If you have Game Pass, I highly recommend it. If you don't, wait for it to $15. I very much like Somerville.
Okay, you got my interest. I put it on my wish list. I might someday pick it up. Who knows?
The last thing I have was the Resident Evil Village Shadow of Rose DLC.
Yes.
Oh, I want to play it so
Yes.
bad.
It's so good. It's so good, and it left me so angry at the ending.
Same.
I will make a personal request. Don't for me because I do want to play that.
Yeah, I will. No spoilers.
Thank you.
But it's about halfway through. Kind of like Resident Evil 8. About halfway through, it for about a half hour, just heart attack inducing all the way through. It's terrifying.
Yeah,
but it's super solid, and I'm super pissed at where they left it. I almost, but it's not bad where they left it, but
Cliffhanger-y.
well,
yes and no.
Yeah, because I have an issue with DLC, and I'll get into it because I also played it. I don't believe this was supposed to be a DLC. They confirmed whenever 8 was coming out that this was supposed to be a trilogy about Ethan Winters. It was supposed to be 7 was a start, 8's the middle, obviously, and then 9 was supposed to be the ending, and it preludes to that and a whole bunch of other stuff. And even at the ending of 8 has some stuff that they make comments on that shows that it might lead into another game. And I think Capcom pissed their britches and got worried people wouldn't play a third one, so they decided to just wrap up her story in a DLC, which sucked.
Yeah, because when that came out, a lot of people were excited about it, and so that's stupid that they didn't have the confidence.
I can get though that they. I mean, you do 3 games of the same thing, you're ready. And plus, with Remake 2 did so well, they're probably we should go somewhere different.
Well, 8 did well. I love all the werewolves you fight are basically just hyped up Ganados from 4. Everything about 8 I loved. I'm actually replaying it now on a hard difficulty in third person mode because I'm not gonna waste $15 on a 3-hour DLC. I'm gonna get my money's worth.
I want to play the third person mode through that because that's where I'm so happy. I hope they go back to third person mode. I did not like the first person in 7 or 8.
I thought it was
It's fine. It's just for me, Resident Evil is third person. I don't get the feeling of Resident Evil unless it's third person.
I thought it fit more in 7 with the claustrophobic and the horror, and they did it well in 8. But yeah, I'm excited to try it in third person to see. I do also want a small side tangent because I haven't been on since. Holy shit, I love Resident Evil 4 so much, and that trailer and everything they showed, I was blown away. I was like, "There's no way I'm gonna like this," and then I watched it and I was like, "Fuck, I take it all back."
I have no interest.
Excited to play this. Oh,
I love 4.
I have
no interest.
I have enough issues with 4. I would buy Remake anyway. I have enough issues with 4 where I'm like, okay, you can take all of my stuff that I don't like about 4 and just take it out and make it a better game.
I say that now, but watch, when it comes out at some point, I'll be like, all right, I can't wait to play it. But I don't know. 4 is to me a perfect game. I don't know. I'm upset that they're remaking 4 and not some of the other ones that I think I would rather see remade.
It's the same game. That's the beauty. And that's what I was with you. I was like, I can't. It's gonna be so different. I'm not gonna like it. But literally, that's set pieces. I'm sure not all of them will be it, but the set piece of the village is 1-to-1 almost. It looks like, and I'm like, holy fuck, that's beautiful.
I'm sure I'll play it at some point. I'm
so
Remake 3 next year.
I said the same thing, and then I was like, oh, this gameplay looks great. Leon's got the binoculars. He's fighting enemies, and then this motherfucker knife guards against a chainsaw, and I'm like, nope. Game of the year next year. This game is game of the year.
I'm sure it'll be great. I'm happy that the series is doing so well lately.
I think that's something everyone could say, and that it does just the right amounts of self-referential humor sometimes, where I forget who it was, somebody quote references Chris and calls him a boulder punching fuck, and I think it's
the werewolf.
The dad?
No, it's the dude with the hammer has magneto powers.
Heinsberg, right?
Yeah,
he got Chris Redfield, that boulder punching asshole.
Yeah,
I laughed so hard.
I did too. I'm just glad how well it's balancing new stuff and then hey, our old stuff's kind of whack. LOL. All right, let's keep going. Oh my god.
I do want to play 8. I'm trying to go through all the Resident Evil for this show slowly. We just did. What the hell did we just do?
Revelations 1.
Oh yeah, we did Revelation. And then we're doing Remake 3 here next year. I'm trying to get more into because I want to play more of them. I really want to replay 7 for the show, and I want to play 8 at some point. But I still gotta play Code Veronica and 0. I've never beaten any of those.
God, I gotta.
If you need anyone for anything Resident Evil, right here. I'm talking literally the movies, the series, the games. I love them all.
We did the
even
series
if they're
already.
terrible.
The Netflix.
Oh yeah. Oh god.
It wasn't.
The
I
movies
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'll never watch it again, but I did enjoy it. Spoiler alert.
I have
but
actually not
I
seen it.
can't with this. I can't. What do you mean? Oh.
You just have to. You have to act like the games exist and don't exist at the same time, and you'll enjoy it more.
Yeah.
Because it makes no. It picks and chooses what's canon and what's not to what it wants to be. It's a what if scenario. It's like what if Resident Evil 1, 2 had happened, but 4 didn't happen, and what if Resident Evil 5 happened, but 6 didn't happen.
And 2 kind of happened.
But the ending was different.
Yeah.
They
guys
pick
are
and
gonna
choose
like-
things, and it's okay. Like it's too bad that it's not coming back at all.
I
You guys
feel
are-
like. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just say you guys are giving me Silent Hill movies flashbacks, and it's not okay.
I
I'm very
like
upset.
the first movie, and
First
I
one, fine.
like
I
to
hate
laugh
them.
at the second one.
They're fine movies, but what they do to the story of those games is such a bastardization that
What
I hate it.
Konami did to the series, to that game, the story of that
Yes.
game, huh? Just stop making them.
I will put them at equal levels, and I hate everything Konami's done, but I can't. That fucking director upsets me to this day. Where he only played like 30, 40 minutes, and he's like, "That's enough," and he just read plots. And he's like, "Hey," and then he just kind of jumbles it together, and it's like, "Hey, it's better this way."
That's just
I was
directors
the
in
director
general
on
for
that.
video games for the
I mean-
longest time. They just don't care.
I mean, how do you feel
Yeah.
like he's making the third one?
I don't want to think about it. I'm so happy about everything else that came out with that, and then that, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna pretend that doesn't exist, and then just move on with my
Yeah.
life because they look good. Oh, and Bloopers making 2. That I'm also upset about, but that's a whole other thing.
Okay.
That,
Blooper made the remake for Silent Hill 2, the HD remake a while back, and they did a release. Well, anything that they did that they had touches on was some of the weirdest, stupidest stuff. That everyone was like, "Why did
Oh,
you
you're talking
do
about the
that?"
ones that like are broken at this
Oh
point?
no, Blooper did not make the not the HD remake.
Who made the HD remake? Because it's the
They-
same.
it was
studio.
in company. They're making the remake of 2 in general now, but back when the HD remake came out, that was all in house.
But I also think that was like, from what I understand, it wasn't like their fault completely. They were just like Konami didn't give a shit. Like, oh well.
Yeah,
they
Konami
they lost the source code.
Yeah,
So-
but I'm pretty sure they did because regardless, I'm pretty sure it was because the studio, it was things like when they took a signpost font and made it Comic Sans, and everyone was like, why the fuck would you, of all fonts, you call it Comic Sans? That's the one. It felt like like the choices they made were so blatant, like, what the fuck is this? So it's a lot. but yeah.
Hijinks. They had the HD collection. Hijinks
Okay.
Studios.
Oh, that was. Ugh. I've heard bad things. I have it, but
It's
I've
bad
heard
things. The
I'm
PS,
yeah.
PS3 version's unplayable.
I just played the PS2 version on my computer. That's good enough for me. But that's not it. Oh, John, was there something else you've been playing you want to mention?
No, I think that's it for
Okay.
this time.
And Joe, do you have anything else you want to mention that you've been playing?
Yes, I am 5 minutes into Pokemon. I fucking hate it.
I saw your video where the guy
Aw.
of some YouTuber and the guy just disappeared.
Yeah, it gets progressively worse. Go look up Twitter while I'm sitting here and dogging on this goddamn fucking game because it gets progressively worse. People are clipping through the goddamn world. If you play co-op and your friend gets on their motorcycle, they become like 30 feet tall and elongated like Slender Man.
I saw
I
that one.
saw that picture and I thought it was hacks or like people messing with the game. Jesus.
Well, see, that's what people thought it was because back when Sword and Shield came out, people were like, "Oh, this game looks like dog shit," and this dude was like completely like just talking shit about the game, and then like an hour later, he got revealed to be a fucking liar because he's like, "Yeah, okay, so I'm playing on an emulator, and it's like an unpatched version of the
Mhm.
game, and I actually made a bunch of the characters T-pose." So everyone was like, "Oh, so maybe it's not real," but nope. Yeah, people now live on Twitch watching the game actually like inhale itself and fall apart.
Oh, that sucks. I mean, they'll fix it, but
Yeah.
that's too bad.
It's like playing Arceus, and I decide, oh, well, time for me to play Arceus. I'm gonna go dip my hands in honey. This is a Pokemon game, but I'm extremely uncomfortable because this thing could explode on me at any moment and ruin my entire playthrough.
Okay,
Plenty of Arceus.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll play it someday when I play it on my computer, many years from now. So someday.
Yeah, it's a good time to be like, I'm getting into Pokemon. And I'm starting with Arceus. And then this is happening. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to stick with Arceus. Sorry, y'all.
I want to play. I
God, it's
don't
such a
play
good
many Pokemon games, unfortunately.
They should just take the L and then put all of these Pokemon in the next one that will be more like Arceus because they get made. Arceus came out, was really popular, and they were already working on this one. So the next one probably be more like Arceus, hopefully, and then so
Arceus is really good. Except for the fact that when you're 20 hours in and you go buy an OLED Switch and you don't realize that none of the saves transfer.
Yeah.
That's just Nintendo being stupid.
I haven't touched that game since. I lost 20 hours. Like, nope, screw this, I'm done.
No, when that happens, you have to give a game a break. I had it happen to me Persona 4 where I got midway through the game and then I just fucked up my save and I had to stop for a year before I went back to it. When shit like that happens, you have to put down the game for a while.
Yeah. I aimed to have another game because I don't know how this happened. I'm beginning to wonder if it was a price error. I got Triangle Strategy on Switch for $25 the other day.
Oh, sweet. That's nice.
I was going to try to start it, but I never got around. But yeah, I couldn't believe I walked into Walmart and I'm like, I'm buying that right now.
Oh,
I don't think that was a price error, but Walmart does. I used to work at Walmart. They make mistakes sometimes.
Every other copy I've seen at different stores is like $50.
No, Black Friday is still kind of technically. It's been like this for the past couple of years. Everyone is
COVID.
Yeah, COVID deferred didn't help, but Walmart and everyone's been doing this whole thing where they do Black Friday like a week. Even now like because of COVID, 2 weeks early. Like I think I can go down to Best Buy today or tomorrow and get like everything on sale.
You can.
My Walmart has movies out right now. Might have possibly bought a few.
Best Buy employee can confirm that is true.
Yeah, I've been seeing ads for different stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I should pick this up." And I'm like, "Oh, wait, I don't actually care." And then I don't know. It's real. I don't like how I become with games. Like, it's not on Steam. I don't want it. I'm like, I don't understand. I used to love physical collection of games, and now I just like Steam. It's just not Steam. I don't care. It's weird. So weird. All right. I think we should go on to TV movies that we've been watching. I only have one TV show I've been watching. I want to say the movie thing. We have one movie we're going to say for the end. I've started rewatching Batman the Animated Series. Not for a good reason, but because Kevin Conroy passed away, I'm like, I'm going to start watching this again. And man, is that show good.
Oh, it's...
I don't think my heart can handle it.
It's hard. Like, I don't care when celebrities die. It just doesn't... I mean, they're just celebrities. It doesn't affect me. But this one hit. So we're going to be going more into it. Hopefully you'll hear that in a couple weeks. But we have something planned for that. So
if you want a Kevin Conroy interview, that is just spectacular. I don't know if you guys know who Michael Rosenbaum is. Played Lex Luthor on Smallville.
Yes.
He does a podcast, Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum, and he had Kevin Conroy on a while back. Oh my God, it's so good. It's like an hour, almost 2 hours. It's on YouTube. You can find it on his channel. It's great.
Okay. The show still holds up. I'm surprised that show's a kid's show at time because there's a lot of dark shit in that show.
Yeah, well, it's the 90s, so it's fine.
Back when they wasn't scared to show kids, slightly adult stuff.
Oh, and then I've been watching one other thing I want to mention. I watched a FIFA documentary about how corrupt FIFA is and was. That was really, really good. Like, that, it's called FIFA Uncovered. It's on Netflix. I'm not a big, I don't care about FIFA. I'm not a big sports guy, but I love documentaries about how corrupt things can get sometimes. And it's worth it. You should watch it. So I'll say that. It's if you like sports and you like hearing about corrupt people, rich people get in prison, it's really good. Because that's what happens. A bunch of people get what they deserve. So not as many as probably deserved it, but at least they got some. Because people are fucking stupid. One guy, they caught him because he didn't file his taxes for 15 years. Like, come on now. Like, you're making millions upon millions of dollars and you didn't think you should file taxes at some point? Like, come on now.
And it took them 15 years?
They didn't look. They only looked because there was an allegations came out against him and some other people. So then the IRS got involved. Like, okay, we're gonna go look, and they look and go, oh, he didn't file. Oh, we got something. Let's go get him. They used him to get other people.
Sounds about right.
So, but it's just like the simplest thing to do: file your fucking taxes. I mean, I understand like maybe you just fudge numbers, but at least file the damn things. Like, come on now.
Really funny Batman the Animated Series joke where the Joker has to pay his taxes because he does not fuck with the government at all.
Yes.
That is funny. Okay. But Joe, anything you've been watching you want to mention?
Alrighty, so I got two things. Welcome to Joe's Anime Corner, where I talk about anime. And
okay, I'm in your corner.
People should be interested. I'm gonna start with the regular, and then go up to the thing everyone I think should be watching because it's available on certain platforms. The first thing is I started the second season of Spy Family, and if people don't know what that is, it is a spy who is trying to help out his country, and he has to get into the household of one of the leader's family or whatever So he goes and adopts this little girl, and he does not know this little girl is psychic. She can read anyone's minds. And so hijinks ensue. And then the second episode is, hey, you need to find you a mom, because a family in like 1960s Germany cannot, or German B, because it's not, real life. We have to find you a mom or we'll be a weird family. So this little girl with her psychic powers sees that there's a woman where they're shopping at who is a trained assassin. So they decide to form a fake family. And at the start of the second season, we are introduced to their new member of the family, a dog that can see the future.
I didn't know that about that
it's
dog.
so
I'm so hyped.
Yeah.
I've seen that dog, and I'm like, wow, he's real cute. I can't wait. I didn't know he was gonna have a thing. Oh fuck. Oh
This is
shit.
Such a goddamn wholesome show. Like this is what soothes my soul at the end of the week. And it's just such a good timing feeling show. And the other one, if you want to be degenerate and be depressed for your whole life, is Chainsaw Man.
Oh no.
And I know you might be asking me, Mike, what the fuck is Chainsaw Man?
I've seen the advertisements for it.
Yeah, it's a
I've
guy.
seen the show.
But do you know what it is, Mike? I am curious based on what you've seen
No,
in
I
ads.
just know a guy has a chainsaw for a face.
And that's all you need to know. He's a guy who his head turned into a chainsaw, and they grow on his arms, and maybe they'll grow on his legs. And I am up to date with the manga. The manga has the first part out, and I'm currently up to date on the second part. And all I can say is, man, I sure love waking up every Tuesday and just going, oh, look, time to shoot myself into my own testicles and be depressed this week. That's Chainsaw Man.
Okay, I'm good.
No,
It's great. It's fantastic.
The series is fantastic. The storytelling and writing is just so great. The main character feels like a 16-year-old, and if you're like a huge movie buff, the guy that creates the show is a huge movie buff. The opening has over like 50 movie references from like, what's the one that it's got The Big Lebowski. There's like the Ring versus The Grudge. There's what's the Samuel L. Jackson one that everyone likes that quote?
Snakes on a plane.
No, him and John Travolta.
Yeah.
Pulp
Quentin
Fiction.
Tarantino.
Yeah, there's like tons of Pulp Fiction references, and the opening's just a goddamn banger. And
There's an Office reference too, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's an Office reference, and just a whole bunch of stuff in that opening that's just great. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's if English dub. Some people prefer the dubs at a good point to where if you're interested, I recommend watching it. It's on anime websites, but it's also on Hulu. So if you have Hulu, it's on there. But it's just a great series, fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Spy Family is a much easier sell for anyone who's not maybe an anime affinity. It's very wholesome and comedic in nature. That's a lot more of it. There's definitely some cool action scenes and stuff, but it's very much just a good happy time. And Chainsaw Man is a lot, and it hasn't even gotten to the parts that I've heard about yet, and I don't really want to spoil what that does. So even
you want to watch
vaguely so.
A nice wholesome family, or a dude who guts people with chainsaws?
Well, no, he doesn't gut people. They live in they live in a world where basically demons exist, and he makes a contract with a dog that's the chainsaw demon. And like the first episode, his dad killed himself, and the mob that he owed money to is like, hey, you're 5 years old and you have hands. You have to work for us now to pay your dad's debt. But they're constantly lying to him, and like he's always like, oh, you just chopped down a bunch of trees? Well, normally that'll get you like $6,000, but with fees and us finding it for you, you only paid us like $500. And he never
go ahead. Sorry.
He never went to school, so he doesn't know that they're conning him. So he's like, okay. And he lives like in a shack with his dog. And then at the end of the episode, they end up killing him. And the dog really likes him because he's like, you're the only friend I ever made. So I'm going to turn myself into your heart. And then he becomes Chainsaw Man and just whoops ass.
Okay.
And how many body parts has he like sold off to try to pay that debt?
Oh yeah, in the opening he doesn't have he's missing an eye, he's missing all the skin on both his forearms, like all the way around, and I believe he's missing a testicle. Oh, and a
kidney, I think.
And a kidney, yeah, he's also missing a kidney.
Okay. That sounds weird as hell.
It's great.
Or cute family with wacky hijinks, because little kid reads their brains, and then she's like, "Oh no, I know things I shouldn't. Oh, what do I do?" Haha.
Well, you can watch Chainsaw Man and then go be happy with Spy Family. That's how you do it. You watch.
Oh, good. All right, and John, anything you've been watching you want to mention?
Yeah, I've got a few things. One that I actually just finished the first part of the last season. They're doing it. It's on Netflix. They're doing it in 2 parts. It's driving me insane because it ended on a cliffhanger. Manifest. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that.
No.
So it was an NBC show that got canceled after the 3rd season, and then Netflix picked it up for the last season. Basically, there's an airplane takes off from the Bahamas, I believe, to New York City. And as the plane is coming into New York, they fly through this like a real bad turbulence. And when they land on the ground, like every 3-letter agency drives up to the tarmac and's like, everybody on the plane's like, what's going on? Said, you all have been missing and presumed dead for 5 years.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
Yes, it's 4 seasons. The first half of the final season 4 has just ended. It came out 2 weeks ago, I believe. I really enjoyed the show. It's interesting mystery of like what happened. It's a little schlocky, it's network TV. What are you gonna do? But I it's the mystery that keeps me going, and it's one of those shows of like if it ends well, it's a good solid 4-season show that I will recommend to anybody. I really enjoy it. And the other thing is The Peripheral on Amazon. If you're not watching The Peripheral, you're missing out on maybe the sleeper hit of the year. That show's incredible. Chloe Grace Moretz. It's either created or directed by the same people that did Westworld.
I need to watch that.
I highly recommend The Peripheral. It's up to episode 7 now, I believe. I've only seen the first 3, but the first 3 episodes had me, like the first episode had me hooked. The beginning of episode 2 was like, oh, this is what we're doing. Okay. I'm watching this till it's over. I highly recommend. It's a cool sci-fi show. Cool. So got some really cool, interesting military stuff in it. I've really enjoyed what I've watched of it. It's Chloe Grace Moretz does a great job. I've loved her in everything I've ever seen her in.
Oh, yeah, she's great.
I want her in Marvel as somebody, please.
She is going to be in Marvel, by the way.
She is as.
I don't know who. She's in the Agatha show.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yes.
I don't know who. They had the name of the character, but it didn't jump out at me, and I didn't look it up.
She's like Agatha's trainee or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I like her a lot. She's in a really good movie about death that I can't remember the name of it. I think it's like What If or If I Live or something. I saw it once in theaters with my girlfriend at the time, and I remember really liking the movie, and I haven't seen it since. It's like her whole life kind of flashes by her, and she decides whether she wants to survive or not, or something like that. I remember being really sad, but also really good. But
okay, I might have to look that up. But I highly recommend The Peripheral. I've very much enjoyed it. And let's see, anything. The last 2 things, just real quick. Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War.
Yeah, let's go.
Hi. I'm watching the dub, so I'm 2 episodes in. I have not watched today's episode. As soon as we're done, I'm watching today's episode. But oh my God, Bleach is back. Thank you, God. It's so good.
So Bleach is part of the big 3. Most people the big 3 is referred to as their generation's favorite anime. Bleach is part of one of the big 3, which is you either watch Naruto, One Piece,
DBZ.
or Bleach. I was
going to say DBZ.
DBZ's before. The big 3 for DBZ is DBZ, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Sailor Moon. But Bleach is Bleach is my comfort anime. I love that anime. I love the fact in God of War, you do get Geten shows. That is my favorite part of that game. And
seen that.
Yeah, but Bleach, I never thought they would bring a series back to show the final arc. And English is great because Johnny Young Bosch does a fantastic job as Ichigo, and I think I cried just as hard as No Way Home because I realized that I am an old fucking man watching that new season.
Oh yes. Oh, when he first does his first Bankai, I'm like, oh God, thank you, we're back. Yes, and he literally does that Bankai is just a flex. He didn't need to do it, but
there's no reason.
The fans are watching. We're doing Bankai. We're doing Tetsu for you. We love you.
They blew up a whole downtown area. It's fine though. It's completely fine.
No, who cares?
Idea what you guys talk about, but okay.
Chad took out a building.
The tax building. It's fine.
Yes. Bleach is so good.
Well, if I could describe it, Bleach. This is Bleach 1,000-Year Blood War. It's the final arc for the anime series, but it came out. It's been like a decade since Bleach has ended. Maybe
almost exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. But just to also one up itself, the whole animation is like movie style. So it's just just chef's kiss every episode. Just can't believe it.
Who's doing the animation for is it MAPPA?
It's not Mappa. It's someone else. I thought it was Mappa. It's not Mappa.
Okay, I could. Mappa's doing everything else, so
Yeah,
I can see why they're not doing Bleach. But the animation is stellar. It's so good, and that opening, that
opening got so many spoilers,
and the ending of the first episode when they go through all of Bleach.
Yeah, that made me like
that got.
Yeah, that made me feel things I haven't felt in a while, and it's just,
yeah. And just real quick, the last one is My Hero Academia season 6. It's great.
Mike, if you need something to
I have a new waifu.
Is it the rabbit girl? Yeah,
Mirko's awesome.
Yeah, to die by thigh is the way of a man.
Her power is to kick you to death, and I'm like, you can do that to me any day.
Mike, I feel like you and your wife would really like My Hero. It's got like all kinds of superhero.
I'm surprised
references.
we haven't yet. She started watching it at one point, but I kind of don't want her to get into it because then she might want to start buying the Funko Pops, and I don't want to go down that road. So I'm like, yeah, we don't need to start that. We can go. We're good.
There's a Mega Man X reference in like season 3, I think, where he's learning to use his powers, and he's like, "Oh, I can jump off the walls like in Mega Man X." And I'm like, yeah, Mega Man.
I'm curious about it. I do want to watch it, but I don't know.
It's
anime
very good.
I haven't got back in anime in a long time.
This is like the second to last, guaranteed.
Okay, maybe then. And once it's over, maybe.
The manga has
Spy X Family first. Just let that be your way back in. It's a great re-entry point for anime or King of the Hill. Either is the same.
I keep watching, like we were watching Yu Yu Hakusho, but then we ran out of dub stuff, and then we just Amazon only had it, or whoever had it that we had access to only had up to near the end of the Dark Tournament that was dubbed, and it went subbed, and I can't watch that show subbed.
I know Crunchyroll has all of the dub, and I'm fairly sure Hulu has all of the dub now.
Okay, because I don't know why. I was like, why the hell don't you have it all? Yeah, we're watching on Hulu because I have Hulu, and I'm like, what the fuck?
I really want to start going back through.
It's so
I watched about
until the Dark Tournament. You get the Dark Tournament ends, you turn off the show, and you don't keep going. You're good. I don't like anime. The end of Hakusho after Dark Tournament.
Yeah,
I think
I've
seen it before. And Stars, you have anything you want to mention?
I've been watching the best anime of all. It's a little hit. You guys probably don't know. It's called Rick and Morty.
I do have one more thing when you're done. Sorry, I forgot. Go back.
Oh no, yeah, that's fine. I'll do this. I'll be quick because I don't really care. Like I don't know. I have this horrible tendency where I'm scrolling through Facebook and I get these weird edits where it's like a whole episode of a show, but it's like 1.5 speed or 2 speed. And so I'm like, oh, it's an 8-minute episode of Rick and Morty I haven't seen before. Why not? And then I watch like a lot more of a show. That's how I started watching. That's why I watched The Big Bang Theory. I've watched like almost all of The Big Bang Theory. I don't really like The Big Bang Theory.
It's stupid, but it's worth it.
Yeah, it was fine. I got to the end and I just kind of stopped one day. I was like, I don't want to keep doing this. Why did I? And so I did that with Rick and Morty and I found out I'd watched most of it and I was like, yeah, it's fine. I don't think I laugh very much, but I'm like, it's kind of fun to see what wacky antics they get into.
Rick and Morty is so much funnier when you don't take that show seriously. There's like an episode where it turns out the Chinese cookies from Panda Express actually do tell the future. And Jerry gets one where it says he's going to fuck his mom. And so the whole episode, he's like trying to avoid his mom. And it's like the funniest fucking thing ever.
I haven't seen that one because I definitely have missed some season stuff. But that's a perfect, I think, way to be like, yeah, it's fun when you do that. If you do anything more, it can be a little, it's a little weird. But so that's
weird. Okay, I watched a little bit of Rick and Morty, but I just don't care.
Yeah, it's a show you can honestly just watch whenever you want to, and it's fine.
Yeah, just zone out.
Yeah, didn't do it. It was funny, but I'm like, this is stupid too, so I just didn't keep going. One day, though, I might.
That's oddly enough why I keep going, but I completely agree. It's like, it's stupid, but I'm already almost caught up. It's real fast. Like, they're so bite-sized. I think that's it. Is like, I'm just like, man, I just want to kind of veg out and not pay attention and not think and just not care.
Oh, and comment your Big Bang Theory. I watched that entire show. I'm working through my second watch through. That show is stupid, but I really, really like it, and I don't want to. But yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
it is. There's certainly I don't like when they I don't like when they make Penny really stupid. I don't like when they do.
Yeah, because
essentially Sheldon is autistic. They don't really the first season is real rough, but after a while they kind of start to like get better about things. But yeah, the first they have some real rough stuff, and I don't like all the Stewart how pathetic they make him. Like it's annoying.
Yeah.
But it gets better as you get farther. It gets less pathetic.
I think
I had enough patheticness with that actor and Roseanne. I don't need more. But I did watch it all. I loved him and Roseanne. Anyway, John, you said you had one other one you want to talk about.
Yeah, you mentioned Rick and Morty. If you like Rick and Morty, you guys like Rick and Morty? Have you? I'm assuming at least some of you have watched Gravity Falls.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, if you like Rick and Morty and Gravity Falls, might I introduce you to Inside Job?
Ooh, Inside Job. That show is a rough pill to swallow.
Oh, I love Inside Job. The part 2 just came out today, and I watched the first 3 episodes before we started.
I'm not saying it's a bad show, but me and all my friends have parental issues, and man, that show, that show hits hard, not for me, but for my other friends, and I'm like, I can't watch this around them. It's gonna fuck them up.
Rand is an asshole. Oh my god.
Yeah, her dad wins like award for worst fucking dad in the universe.
I've seen clips of this occasionally, but you've sold me on it. I'm now at least watching an episode or 2 because now I'm curious.
It's the guy who did Gravity Falls, the creator, Alec. Yes, he is one of the producers and I believe writers on the show. This is it's not his show. It's one of the people that worked as a writer on Gravity Falls went on to create this show, and it's also I think it's the creator of BoJack Horseman. Also,
that makes sense.
That tracks.
It's really good. It's about the deep state and how much they control. And like I sit watching them, I can't believe they haven't destroyed that world yet because they're all idiots. But one of the new episodes introduced like the 6 controlling parties of the world, and one of them was the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay, yes, Inside Job, you are preaching, or you were talking my language because that is ridiculous, and I love it. But yeah, it's like the Atlanteans, the Reptoids, the Illuminati, the Insane Clown Posse, and the Deep State. I'm like, yep, that sounds just about right.
I'll use this moment to remind everybody that the CIA did many years ago classify juggalos as a hate terrorist, a risk for a terrorist group. I think is what they got a classification.
Yeah.
Because they're
and what was that a couple of years ago? Like juggalo paint like stops facial recognition. I forget. Wow. It was like the Insane Clown Posse was onto something with all that paint of like because now they can't be facial rec. That's just. You can go
or just wear masks for COVID. I mean, like that's one thing I thought was so funny. People committed crimes like during COVID. Like you could just wear a fucking mask all the time. Nobody's going to question you. Do you commit a crime? And you just vanish and you're like just like everybody else.
But they will question if I'm down with the clown, and so I need to do both simultaneously and just demonstrate to them I am.
I mean, you can wear a mask and I don't think it can facial recognize you just from your eyes, or just wear sunglasses at night.
Yeah, both. Yeah, Inside Jobs.
Okay. All right. And I got 2. Before we go on our last topic, I just remembered because you guys reminded me, I went to a convention last week.
Oh yeah, how was
it? It was fun as hell. It's called Twin Cities Con. Because I go to conventions where they don't come. We don't get a lot of conventions up here in Minnesota and Twin Cities. We get some, but they keep going away. Like we had one called Fan Fusion that came for 2 years, and then they stopped coming. We had one called Galaxy Con that came for 1 year, then it went out of business. And now this one, Twin Cities Con, just came twice. They came last year. I went. This year I met the 2 actors that played Boba Fett back in Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back. So I got them to sign a Funko Pop because I'm like, I might never meet these guys again. So they might be dead because they're not young. So
I have a weird question for you, Mike. I apologize if it's a little too personal.
I don't mind.
How's your reaction to that weird message your wife got? I saw.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was fucking great.
He posted on Facebook. We went to a convention and she texted me first, and I thought it was hilarious. She got a message from someone saying like, "Hey, I'm trying to help people help 2 clients of mine find dates or something like that." And so I'm like, I thought it was hilarious. But no, I mean, she dressed up in cosplay. It was a great time. Like it was a ton of fun. I mean, I met Phil Lamar just because I'm like, after Kevin Conroy passed away, and I had the chance to meet Kevin Conroy, and I didn't do it because I'm like, I'll go see him a different time. Yeah, it didn't work out so well for me, unfortunately. I regret that. So I was like, I'm gonna go meet Phil Lamar, and I went up to him. I had a Green Lantern for him to sign from the Justice League show. And I'm like, I would have rather you sign something from Vamp, but there's not a whole lot of, I'm like, I just play Metal Gear Solid 4. And then he just goes into some line from Vamp from Metal Gear Solid 4, just starts and changes his voice. And I'm like, this guy's really nice and cool.
Man, I forgot he was Vamp. That's great.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. Like because I was waiting in line. People go up to him. Anything you mention, he would do a line from whatever it was that you mentioned.
He's in everything.
Yeah, no, he knows. I mean, it's still all there.
He's
He,
got
like
the
Metal Gear
range.
Solid 4 is not exactly a, I mean, that was years ago. It's not a common thing, but he was, he had a line from VAM, and he's like, yeah, I have a bunch of merchandise for that. And I'm like, nope. Because I would have much rather hadn't signed something for VAM because I love Metal Gear, but
Dude, you should have asked him to do a recording for the podcast this Sunday.
I would have to pay him for that, and I wasn't doing
Oh, okay, never mind then. Those guys are a lot. I saw the White Ranger from Power Rangers, and I paid like $120 for him to sign like 2 things.
Yeah, it was $40 for Phil Lamar to sign, and then we met Sean Astin, which is really he's a real friendly guy, real goofy. Like he's just a really goofy guy. Like I was surprised because he reminded me a lot of himself from 51st Dates. I'm like, I don't think that was that far off. So because like he was just in line at one point, we're waiting in line, he starts singing some song, and then someone's like, nailed. He's like, nailed it, and I'm like, this guy's hilarious. Like he's just real goofy. I'm like, this is cool. So it was just a really good experience. And then the guy that does Bleach, my wife met and had him sign a poster. I didn't wait in line because I didn't want to and didn't care. I'm like, I've never seen you in anything. I don't. Well, apparently I knew some stuff, but I was like, I don't care.
Was it the main guy, the guy with the orange hair?
Johnny Bosch.
Yeah.
Bosch.
Yeah.
That guy
guy,
posted a
Power
lot of
Ranger
stuff
guy.
too, surprisingly.
God, he does so much shit. But yeah, she wanted to get a poster signed. It was, I spent more than I wanted to, but I knew what I was getting myself into. But it was a great time. Like I only go to like one convention a year, so I'm like, because we don't get that many up here, so I'm like, hey, just see the people I want to see while they're here because they might never come again.
Yeah.
So, but it was really fun, and I bought a bunch of really cool prints. We had a good time, and I have a bunch. But it was like, oh, the one thing I thought was really cool. There was a woman dressed up as Harley Quinn who went around and told people, hey, at 1:00 we're doing a photo shoot with DC, with people that were DC cosplays, and she put together this whole thing, and they got all these people to go meet upstairs and did a bunch of pictures. It was just like just some random person just started telling people, hey, go meet at this point, and it worked. I was like, this is pretty cool. That's how Tiff ended up in that. Which I also think is funny about the post she made is that she's not tagged in a lot of stuff. I didn't post the ones that I tagged her in or anything or stuff like that. It just, I don't know how they found her. So I thought it was like pretty funny they found her. So I thought, I was like, okay. It was pretty funny. All right, and then let's go on to our last topic. We're going to talk about Black Panther for a little bit. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which just came out in theaters pretty recently. By the time you're hearing this, about a week or two.
Yeah, about a week.
Okay.
Yeah, last Thursday's one.
I liked it. I don't want to. I mean, we can definitely go a little spoilers, so we will probably go spoilers. So if you don't want to hear that, if you haven't seen it, we won't go too deep into it, of course, but we'll go a little bit into it. So feel free to that'll be the last topic. So
I'm so glad that I had a good experience with that movie because that opening, not a single word was said, and I'm glad everyone shut the fuck up during that opening.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed the movie. I'm just sad that we didn't get the movie we would have gotten had life went differently.
Mm-hmm.
Because that movie didn't feel completely right with the way they did it. Like the fact that because there's so much, it's a kind of a depressing movie because you have him dying, you have other characters, like you have a lot of bad shit happening. So I
also love the movie also having kind of not the same plot as one, but like the guy that played Namor did a really good job, and it still has that same feel of fuck. Is this really a bad guy that we should like defeat, or should we actually be rooting for him?
I considered nobody really a villain. If anybody, to me, the mother was kind of a villain. And she wasn't in the end, but
yeah,
everyone made bad decisions that all could have been avoided because people were all just being stupid.
Yeah.
Everybody in that movie makes bad decisions that then cost them the other things that happen in the movie. I don't know. I kind of wish they would have recasted Chadwick. I mean, I get why they didn't, but Black Panther's too big of a character just to let it go.
Well, I've always said that even without what happened, and they also did it with whoever played War Machine. I don't think Marvel should really, and DC as well, need to stop being scared of, well, we already have this character play one movie, and we can't have them replaced, so we'll just have to reboot the whole series. It's like, no, don't think that way. I don't care if you replace them.
I mean, I get it. He died. You don't want it. But at the same time, it's like, as long as you do it in the right way and don't have some stupid joke like on Her Majesty's Secret Service, well, I'm different than the other guy. Good movie, 007. But like, as long as you don't have some kind of cheeky joke like that, in that make it like there's nothing wrong. I mean, it happened.
Yeah, stuff happened.
It's I think they were damned if they did, damned if they don't.
Yeah, I believe that too.
Yeah, because people would have seen it as bad if he would have been recast as if I would have rather just hadn't. I would have, because I think the story of King versus King would have been more interesting than what we got. Because it just felt like that movie is fucking long, 2 hours and 40 minutes.
It's the longest one we got.
I was not expecting that. I did not look up the time. I saw this movie at a 7:50 on a Saturday night. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, look. I'm looking at it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it is late. Like, this movie's still going. So I was not. And I usually go to bed like 9:30, so I was like, this really threw me off. Like, I need to get home. I need to go to bed. I got to record in the morning. So, but yeah, it was. Plus, this movie, like I don't really have a bad water issue, like where water really bothers me. But this movie, like all the drowning they do, like there's an early part in the movie where people are being sung to and they just step off a boat and die. And I'm like, this is really fucking dark and creepy.
Oh yeah, when it turned into a horror movie. That scene was awesome, but I was like, this is
uncomfortable.
Like something, yeah. This is, that's a way to go.
I have a few problems with it. I had a problem, like, I like Namor, but I felt like there should have been an actual villain in this movie for them to join together and fight, and that kind of bothered me that there wasn't.
There's a couple of stuff that I also like doing with it. So we're dig deeper more into spoilers for your second warning. I am glad that they did not kill him at the end of the movie. I'm very glad they didn't kill him.
They couldn't.
Yeah, but I'm also just so sick. Like, Thor: Love and Thunder. Like, that reason that whole movie gets like just a really bad taste in my mouth is they kill. Not only do they kill Gore the God Butcher at the end, but they also kill Natalie Portman. Like,
I think that was probably her choice. I really believe she didn't, because I haven't seen that movie still, but I knew that already. I feel like she just didn't want to do. Like, she came back for one movie. That's it. Like, she's not interested in doing a whole, series, like continue on.
God dang it, Mike! I wouldn't have spoiled it for you if you told me.
No, I already watched a podcast listened to a podcast talked about a comic conspiracy. Great show. I already been spoiled on it. I don't care. I have the ability to watch it. I'm just too lazy. I just don't care. I don't know why.
That's a decent one to not care about.
Yeah. That's what I heard too, which is part of the reason why I haven't.
The best reason to watch that movie is Christian Bale's performance. I think he does a really good job.
I really do want to watch it at some point. I was waiting for my wife to watch it, and then she's just like, I don't care. And I'm like, oh, well, then at that point, I'd throw it on one day.
There's also a really solid theory that's been popping around, which I'm 100% okay with, is the reason why they went with the stinger of T'Challa's son being named T'Challa is they might end up actually bringing in mutants. And then that way we actually will have a Black Panther movie down the road where he ends up marrying Storm and that whole thing happens. But who knows?
I mean, they're also like what some people think is they're planning for the future. You keep having everybody's kids. Iron Man had a kid. Thor has a daughter. Like they're planning for stuff for like 12 years from now, where you have the Young Avengers with like Kate Bishop, Cassie Lang, Patriot, all these other characters, and then you'll have another set of Avengers down the road from there, which is the kids type of thing. The kids of the original.
I think Young Avengers is. I wouldn't say soon, but I would maybe phase 6.
See, it's phase 6, 100%.
Yeah.
Secret Wars and everything, because
unless maybe they do a show or something, which I could see a show being kind of interesting way to do it.
They won't do it. They're setting up for you have the Secret Wars has already been announced, and then there's another Avengers movie right after that. I don't know. I keep telling myself I'm done with I try to get tired of MCU, but every time something new comes out, I get suckered in pretty quickly. Like She-Hulk was great. I really enjoyed She-Hulk.
Yes.
I'm actually doing an episode at some point with She-Hulk with 3 other women, because that seemed like the perfect way to do that show. Is going to be. I was such a female show.
After Love and Thunder, I was really feeling it, and then I think it was the last episode of Miss Marvel. I'm like, okay, I'm back, because Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and Loki. I think are the 3 best.
Loki's great.
Yeah, I
really
still
like
need to do it. But I don't know, it's just like, I enjoyed Wakanda Forever, but I didn't even realize this was the end of Phase 4, and that's kind of hit me too. And I'm like, I need to record more MCU now that Phase 4 is done. But I got completely burned out from covering so much MCU in the show that I just didn't want to go back. And I've been having a hard time trying to go back. Now that Phase 4 is ended, I'm going to try to make myself, because I want to cover more. But no, Wakanda Forever is a good movie. It's just long, but it was good. Is it longer than Eternals?
Yep, I think so.
So is it the second longest after Endgame?
I thought Eternals was 3 hours plus, but I guess it just felt that way.
Movie's boring as hell.
Also, I feel like Phase 4 is a big theme about family.
Oh, I was going to go with grief.
That too.
Yeah. Eternals was 237.
God, it felt longer than that.
Yeah, this was 245.
It's too long, but it's still good. I mean, it's a good movie. I recommend it. I mean, definitely worth seeing.
Also, fun fact, because the Wakanda has the X across the chest for Wakanda Forever, I'm glad that the Atlantean Mayan people had the Kamehameha as a greeting, because everyone knows. Interesting fact, and you can look up the video. down south in Mexico and South America, they love Dragon Ball Z down there.
Oh.
The mayor of Mexico City, whenever the final episode of Super was coming out, he wanted to have every bar and have it streaming like on a big TV in like the town center. And Crunchyroll was like, no, that breaks, our code of contract because it's a streaming thing and blah, blah, blah. And the mayor of Kansas City literally, or not Kansas City because I'm from Kansas City, the mayor of Mexico City literally went, how much money do I have to throw at you to like let us do that? And they ballparked a number and he gave it to him. And there's just these tons of videos, like go look up like Dragon Ball Super in Mexico, the finale, and there's just tons of people and like this Dragon Ball Z fights going on and people are like cheering and screaming and it's just like the best thing ever.
Okay. I am excited now for Black Panther 3 whenever we get that because of what happened in this movie, there will be consequences.
Yeah.
I kind of think that there will be consequences in either Thunderbolts or maybe Captain America. I'm leaning more towards Thunderbolts.
Okay, yeah, you're probably right. Probably gonna be Thunderbolts. That makes more sense because, I don't know if you guys know this. They have not said it, but Julia Dreyfus's character, that's Madam Hydra.
Oh, okay.
That's who that is. They never called her that yet, but when they say her actual name, like I forget what the hell her name they say her name here and there.
Oh, Val.
Yeah, she's Madam Hydra. So something is going to come out of that at some point. They didn't just put that. They could have put any random. They put her in for a reason. So they're up to something with that. And I think Thunderbolts will bring part of that into play. And then I think that's going to become a bigger thing later. I think it will be a big thing in the new Captain America movie too.
Have you seen
sorry.
Have y'all? Go ahead. You can go ahead, John.
I was just going to say in Black Panther when the guy said something about we have a new boss and she's like a ball buster or something. I almost thought it was going to be Sharon Carter.
Yeah, but Sharon Carter is they're going down a different road with her.
Yeah. Well, that's, I
should watch that show again.
When he said that, I was like, are we getting something new with Sharon? But yeah.
We will see her, I think, in the new Captain America movie.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll see her till then. I think that will be the end of her character.
Have you guys seen that it's not the movie, but the Thunderbolts are planned to fail in their movie?
What about it? Like, what do you mean?
Because the screenshot of the team got released and it's like, what is it? It's like 3 super soldiers and
Red Guardian, Ghost, Winter Soldier, Yelena, and Abomination, and I can't remember the other one.
I think Taskmaster, right?
Yeah, yes, Taskmaster's in it too.
Yeah, and they're like, people were like, oh, that's such an awful team. And then someone brought up a point, like, yeah, that's the point, is because they're not smart. Like ironically, America doesn't know how to actually put a superhero team together. Of course, they would think putting 3 super soldiers together would be a good idea.
I also don't think. I hope they're taking us for it's going to be different than what we really think.
Yeah, that's also heard that too. But that's
Harrison Ford's in it, which I don't really care for, but
that's fine.
It's just weird to me that he's in this
as Thunderbolt Ross, which
I'm okay with that. I mean, the guy died. Like again, the actor died, and they just recast him. Like
I kind of think it should have been. The Ross we have now should have been maybe the leader, but with how that ended up.
Well, I think Harrison Ford will be the leader.
Oh yeah,
I also think it's mostly it's Harrison Ford. He ain't going to be in the movie that much. He's just getting paid, crazy money, and he's mostly just going to be the Red Hulk watch. I guarantee you they're going to go down that road after She-Hulk. Like they're going to go down the Red Hulk road.
What was it? Would you be surprised if this ends up like Suicide Squad 2, the Suicide Squad, where like half of that Thunderbolts cast either dies or like just fucks off?
I would say fuck off, not die, because Marvel doesn't really kill. That's too much contracts and stuff. They're gonna just. My guess is stuff will happen and those characters will disappear for a bit or something. I don't know. I'm interested, but I just don't know with Marvel anymore. Like I'm also ready for Guardians to be done. I can tell you that much. I know we got the holiday special coming out, and then we got the last movie, and then it'll be done. So I'm excited for that.
It's after the holiday special. I'm really excited for Secret.
For what?
Secret Wars. Next
me too. We got
series.
That's 2024, I think, though, right? Or 2024?
No. The show, the Nick Fury show, Secret Wars.
Oh, Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah, I'm interested because Amelia Clark is in it, so got me.
Yes, I really want to see where that goes.
Oh, and last thing that I forgot because we should wrap this up. Did you see Werewolf by Night?
Yes.
No.
That's a cool little special.
It's pretty good.
I liked it. It was interesting. It's a little weird thing that's just gonna be there, it just exists, and I'm like, okay. I look forward to see where it goes with that.
I'd be surprised if they don't pull the one girl. I'd be if she doesn't show up.
Elsa Bloodstone.
Yeah, Elsa Blood.
100%.
If like she doesn't show up in Blade.
Huh? And Man Thing could show up in something else too.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, Man Thing opens up a whole lot of other things for them. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, I think that's. Any last thing you want to say about Wakanda Forever?
You know, I recently watched the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. And it's a while. Just anyone hasn't seen a while. They do reference Superman in that movie, and man, sometimes I miss those days where it was just a lot more easier to be like, "Hey, Superman," you know, that guy who totally we could say without a problem.
They reference him in Eternals too.
What?
Yeah.
Guys, oh god, well, egg on my face. Never mind, I'll go back to my corner.
I do want to rewatch all the Spider-Man movies. My goal is to cover Amazing Spider-Man 2 and then some of the Tobey Maguire stuff before we do No Way Home, but I don't know what will happen because that depends. I have no idea.
No one's ever allowed to complain about the first three especially 3, because I will defend 3 with my life because of what happened with that whole movie. But no one is ever allowed to complain about those 3 movies because we goddamn worked what we got with.
If 1 and 2 are great from what I remember, so I can't. I've never seen 3.
If you can tolerate camp, it's the best of both worlds because anything with any scene with Toby in it is so fucking campy. And MJ and any other high schooler quote, it's just like, wow, this is aged and campy as fuck. But then you have the amazing fucking Green Goblin acting, and I can't get over it. Like, I looked up his name. Can't remember.
James Franco?
No, Willem Dafoe. Yeah, Willem Dafoe.
He's in 3?
He's in 1.
He's in 1. Okay.
No, I'm talking about the original. Willem Dafoe destroys in that movie. Any scene with him, I was like, wow, this is really good. Even where he goes, I'm something of a scientist myself, Peter. Even that, I'm like,
you mean that meme that will never die?
Yeah, this isn't as bad as the meme made it seem, but like, oh god, his acting's so good. So you have the best of like, oh wow, I'm really sucked in by these characters and Jonah Jameson and how well he's doing. And I looked up, I was like, who decided to make Jonah Jameson like that? And the actor did, and I was like, that's great, even better. And then the campiness of Toby and all his friends. So it's great. I love it, and it holds up in a bad, weird way.
I think the only bad part of that movie, in my personal opinion, which is because it writes really weird, and the movie kind of is always bordering on like the camp and the really weird dialogue. And it's the one where Peter's talking to Aunt May, and she's like, "Do you remember when you met MJ and you said she looked like an angel?" And I'm like, "Oh, this is fucking weird. You would say that, Tobey Maguire. That's why people bully you."
All right. Okay. And Star, where can people find you at?
One day on Twitch at Square Milk. God, that was savage. Yeah, I'll be there soon.
I need to wrap this up. Okay. And John, where can people find you at?
You can find me over with my friend Commander Lionheart on his channel, the Mystery Movie Friends.
Oh, right. Who's been on the show a few times. I gotta get him on more, but that's I had him on, I can't remember the last time he was on. Probably Infamous 1. No, Pokemon Emerald would have been the last one. I don't remember. I'll go check out. Okay, and if you enjoyed this episode, we do one of these every month, and they vary every single month. I never know what the hell's going to happen, so go check those out. We have over 400 episodes of this podcast. You can find everything on Podbean. If you can't find it, look more on Spotify or iTunes. If you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon. You can join our Patreon poll. Right now we have, well, you still hear this? It will be Christmas movies that aren't Christmas movies. You can get to vote. It's Batman Returns, Ghostbusters, Lethal Weapon, and Gremlins. So you get to choose, vote for a little dollar. You can vote in our poll. We do a poll every month to help decide something that's going to be on the show. And I want to shout out my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Helena at Hell Hasphere. You can follow her on TikTok. Also, if you want to, we have a Discord. You can join our Discord. I just updated the link because someone told me it was wrong recently. So there's an updated link for this one now. It was supposed to be updated, but so go join our Discord and chat with us. And I want to give a shout out to my buddy Bill Tucker, who did the MCU movies with me. He started his own podcast, A Gamer Looks at 40. So definitely go check him out. You will see a link to him in the show notes. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. We're on YouTube audio only, but we are on YouTube. So check us out there. And I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Goodbye.